Hey Scorpio, this is a tarot forecast for all of 2022 for you. Let's take it month by month. We will look at these cards together shortly and pull more to clarify from the tarot. I'll pull in some oracle too. So January, the card you got for January, 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so it looks like you're starting the year, the month of January, focused, committed. You've got your eyes on the prize. You're spending a lot of work, putting in hard effort. You've got some focus around a project, like you've got something in particular that you want to execute, want to get done. You're happy to be putting your focus on it. Some of you are starting and ending 2020. Some of you are starting and ending 2022 with a Virgo. The sign Virgo is coming up at the start of your year and at the end of your year. We've got a lot of major arcana cards in this reading so far, already 6. We've also got 2 aces. So major arcana cards, 6 of those, suggesting that there's a lot of soul growth and evolution taking place this year. Yippee! Aces, Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, plenty of opportunity, different types of forces emerging in your life. So yeah, work, just getting shit done in January seems very productive month. We'll clear up these cards. The High Priestess, so our first major arcana is coming through in the month of February. Okay, pay very close attention to messages from your dreams, your subconscious, subconscious downloads, gut instincts, intuition. It's going to be, if you work with tarot or if you're working with any practitioners, like really ask to find out what messages are coming through from spirit at this time. Whatever way you practice your spirituality, Scorpio, it seems like no surprises in Pisces season between February and March is when a lot of breakthrough is possible to happen. However, I do see you reaching some blocks on spiritual breakthrough between March and April. So that's why for me, Scorpio, for a lot of you, this intuition, these revelations that come through in February are not to be ignored or made little of. They're going to be really useful for you in discerning something pretty major in the month of March. The Hanged Man in reverse. This is kind of like, okay, this is like you being focused completely on the wrong thing, and spirit is like, oh, why are they looking at this and putting all this focus into that? No. We don't want to have to rock you back into the path too much, so we're gonna send you some messages is what's happening in February. Things won't work out there. You won't be able to go meet this person. You won't be able to go do that thing. This is not just an inconvenience merely. This is messages like, okay, I'm not supposed to be doing that. So just be super aware is what is being asked really with these cards. Huge cards for February, March. It almost seems like you're so busy starting the new year, starting in January, that you wouldn't even be listening out for this anyway, and that's fine. It's all about timing. February is when messages are going to come through for you, Scorpio, about either being on or off the right path, or like it can be good too, it can be validation, it can be affirmation, absolutely. The Hanged Man in reverse is just like you're preoccupied with the wrong thing, likely ego. In March, in Pisces season, we're really asked to die, right, and kill the ego, return to spirit, return to our purest essence, not this body bound to the 3D reality we perceive. No, not this dense place. The Hanged Man is to do with Neptune. Neptune is Pisces ruling planet. It's unconditional love, forgiveness, and transcendence from the physical body. So beware of escapism, the shadow side of that Pisces energy around this, with this Neptunian influence. We're going to have Jupiter, Venus, the Sun, and Neptune, Mercury potentially. I'm not sure, no, I don't think so this year, but all together in Pisces, and it's going to be beautiful, right? I think that's in around April. So this is just a time of like beauty, creation, unconditional love, but we are trying to spiritually transcend at the same time. There's one thing that you may be focusing on, Scorpio, that is limiting that, and the Hanged Man is saying like you're about to pat yourself in the back and be a martyr here, Scorpio, and say, look what I did. And spirit's like, yeah, who cares? That you're just, yeah, great that you did that, but that's not what we're asking of you. And you're like, look what I did though. And they're like, no. Scorpio, if the danger is in March of listening to somebody you shouldn't be listening to, focusing on something that is not important, but you're still thinking like, oh, okay, if I do this, it distracts them from what I'm really meant to be doing. Like, you still know you're supposed to be doing something else. Messages are coming through loud and clear at this time. So this is the take heed. If we just keep preoccupying ourselves with our ego in March, we're gonna have a false start in April, because it won't be in alignment. So you might get the go ahead with something in April, and then you have to wind it back, or it just derails. So this is kind of like a message to look out for what's kind of trying to keep you on the right track, or bring you closer to the right track, what's ending, these kind of things. Like, it's all just very it seems a little out of your hand. Okay, so it does seem like you're off to a false start in April, and this is more so linked to if in March you're just like la 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 la, I'm doing this, everything is fine. Okay, slow your roll and really consider things. Okay, if not, what could this be in April? We'll clear it up, but this could just be like, damn, I didn't get the offer, they said no. So yeah, it's just a no. It's not a thumbs up, it's a thumbs down. So it was the opportunity that you thought something was going to happen, or you had high hopes for something, or when you first heard of this you were thinking like that will probably work out. Okay, in April we found out that didn't, or it started off with promise and perhaps it let us down. Not to worry, in May, a new ace arrives, a new opportunity emerges. That's always the way. When something just isn't working out, it doesn't mean it's because we did a bad job at something, or we're not good enough, or any of those things. When we're in touch with like our spiritual path, you kind of don't really see time as like, oh, but in April I didn't get this. Like, okay, at this time in my life, like this didn't work out for me. And then you're opening up to what was supposed to happen instead, or what was more in alignment for you. And for whatever reason, that setback you experience in April is really just to make some room for something else coming through in May. The force of connection, the force of love, the force of emotion. How can this manifest? A new friend, start dating somebody, get married, whatever it is. Something beautiful emerges where you take this connection, this attraction, this mutual respect and desire for another person, and even in a platonic way, you take it a little bit further, or the possibility to do so is there. That could just look like spending more time with people, seeing people more easily, all of those things. So a situation emerges in the month of, let me see where I'm at, January, February, March, April, May, June, with the Justice card. The sign a Libra, but Aquarius is coming up in a strong way at the latter part of 2022 too. So the signs I'm mainly seeing for you at the moment, Scorpio this year, start of the year, very start of the year and end of the year, Virgo, like January 2022, December 2022, I see Virgo. Then, okay, Pisces at the beginning of the year, the High Priestess, the Hanged Man in reverse, and then air signs really come to take more of the focus. I see Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius from like this, from where did we say, June onwards. Okay. So this typically, I feel like now in the Justice card, some topic is coming up in around June, which is the start of a process basically, or the start of some decision making and some consequential action. But this isn't like the wrapping up of what goes on. I sense that is kind of like more like in September, okay, with the World card. So it's something that gets underway in June that wraps up in September, if that makes sense. But yeah, something that you get the ball rolling on, that you begin processing, that begins to happen, and you know that what's going on this month, in the month of June, is like quite critical to how the rest of the year is going to play out. We're going to clear it up. So July and August, let's look at this together. 8 and 5 of Swords. It's the tricky period in between this big culmination. So we've got the Justice card in June and the World card in September. In my opinion, this looks like how things started and how they wrap up. And in between that, there's like this difficult period of contraction where you feel a little bit stuck, where even some of you are remembering back to March and regretting not being able to make the right sacrifices and making these silly sacrifices instead that no one's asking you to make, and you're like avoiding here. Then this is when could potentially bite you in the ass. because you could say, if I had just let that go. And what does Pisces season ask us? Dissolve, let go. This is only a temporary experience. This body is truly not super vital. It's of course vital. It helps us experience what we're here to experience, but we're here to learn. We're here to learn lessons, okay? There was something that is creeping through in February to kind of guide you towards enlightenment and perspective rather than block. For some, it doesn't seem like you listen at this time. Okay, that's all good. It's all meant to be experienced whatever way you experience it, of course. And this is the card of free will. So we do know that you are going to be making choices this year, Scorpio. But the 8 of Swords and the 5 of Swords. Okay, so this is just kind of like, okay, in the interim of this coming together successfully, I see good success for what gets started in June and culminates in September. And then even in October, the Star card. This is a beautiful time period overall, and what the soul is like, yes, thank you. And then your ego and brain is like, what the fuck is going on? It's because, you know, you're feeling like, oh, I've made a mistake. Oh my God, how is this going to turn out? This is not going to go well. You're having a lot of negative thought cycle, a lot of doubt, a lot of blame, and like being very hard on yourself for whatever reason through the July-August period until we get to the completion and the phew, okay, that worked out. So try to go easy on yourself in those months. You know, there's a lot going on mentally for you that may not even ever be something you need to worry about, okay? So yeah, huge period of completion, accomplishment, and job well done by you, Scorpio. Survival, again, coming out even higher on top, better than ever. And yeah, I see you here as the eagle. You're looking at this Aquarian person here. I do see Aquarius coming through very strongly between, really, in particular, September and October, that being a sign. They say this is super vague, but I understand why. Saturn in its diurnal in Aquarius, that the Aquarians teach us the lessons in life. They don't necessarily feel as heavy as the nocturnal Saturn Capricorn lessons, that like Aquarius are a bit more of the intellectual type of lessons, not the, oh, you're going to be thrown out on the street and become homeless kind of Saturn in Capricorn lessons. But okay, I digress. Lessons coming through that are super valuable for you, super enlightening for you. So anyway, September and October will clear it up. Looks really, really nice. It looks like you're ending a huge cycle in your life successfully. Big period of completion, victory. Now you've time to go back over and look after things that you need to look after within yourself. So you're entering a period of healing in October. You're entering a period of optimism again. Then come November, we have the 5 of Cups. So a sense of disappointment about a goal that you set out to achieve, I think, comes up around November. And it's all this energy of bringing us right back to the Hanged Man in reverse in March. March is going to be crucial this year. It's like the disappointments, the 5s. So we keep going back to these like annoying contractions in 2022. And it's all coming from what comes through. What are you supposed to be actually focusing on? And what are you thinking is the main thing that you should be focusing on, when in actual fact, your purpose or gift lies elsewhere? Your not your eternal purpose or gift, or like in this lifetime, but just something that is meant to be for this time, you kind of, I sense, are ignoring in March. The Hermit card in reverse. Okay, so this is December. This is just you, I think, being overcautious in December about your goals and your workflow, especially since it looks like January gets off to such a good year work-wise. You're very focused, especially with dealing with a Virgo, collaborating with a Virgo on something, working something out with a Virgo looks good. And then by December, they're not in the picture anymore, I'm sensing for some. Or I'm sensing, if this isn't a Virgo, all Virgoans aside, great people to have for you though, especially Scorpio, you sextile with the Virgo and a Capricorn. So that's where opportunities are created with these people. this person that you have an opportunity with at the start of 2022, it doesn't look like they're fully in the picture anymore by the end of 2022, that they're not on board fully anymore. But hey, you've learned everything you need to learn, so it's okay. It was just like purposeful at the time. And now, because of them not like being present with this launch or this kind of version or something, you lack a little confidence, and you think you don't have that final touch that this person might have been really good at assisting you with, and you're like, oh, but I don't have that edge now, it's not going to be as good, or something like that. And that's what I'm seeing at the moment. I'm going to start read you this oracle card, and then we're going to get into your deeper messages coming through for this year coming up. Daughter of the Phoenix, number 6. I was delighted when I pulled this. Of course, the Phoenix, rising from the ashes, is of course a Scorpio theme of transformation. Okay, great. So we're on number 6 here, Daughter of the Phoenix. When the soul, and oh yeah, so where I centered my meditation around this card and then chose it was like, what was 2021 for Scorpio? What the hell was that all about? I was like, so what the hell is that all about? So what did that mean? So for 2021, when the soul is ready to spread its wings, it goes through a deep cleansing, purification, and preparation for new levels of spiritual wisdom, power, and light, just like the phoenix that is baptized through celestial fire to be born anew. You are going through such a phase of heavenly purification, preparation, and initiation. This is an advanced phase of soul growth. I mean, Scorpio, come on, you're almost there. And soon after, you will enjoy spiritual peace, divine power, and advancement on your divine life path. Kuan Yin, Daughter of the Phoenix, has been through both physical and heavenly, and has ascended into a position of great spiritual peace, power, and authority. She guides you to claim your rebirth and ascend. So that's what 2021 might have looked like purification. Like, you might have been dealing with a whole host of karma in that one year. So 2021 could have been a year where you're like, bring it all on, I'm ready to go. Time is moving on. I want to ascend, so I need to be hit with this karma now so I can work through it in 2021. And in the same way, it says that if we were moving house, we would need to sort through our possessions, and sometimes it is an opportunity to let go of that which we do not wish to take with us into our new life as we prepare to move to higher levels of consciousness. There are old habits, stuck emotions, and stagnant energy that do not belong in our new life cycle. That could have been what 2021 was like for you. The path of purification and initiation by celestial fire is preparation for spiritual enlightenment, greater happiness, well-being, prosperity, success, spiritual responsibility, and leadership. Sounds all good to me, and very Scorpionic if I'm honest. It can be a challenging time in that, as that which would stand in the way of a new level of spiritual potency must be eliminated, and often these things are deep fears, doubts, or questions about our own worth and ability. It can feel very confronting to meet these parts of ourselves consciously, yet we cannot let go if we do not even realize that we're holding on to these things within us. Yeah, makes sense. So then it goes on to say that to pass this initiation of 2021, well, if you're watching today, you passed it, you made it out to the other side. To pass this initiation and benefit from it, we prepared to surrender, which needs to be burned away. So Kuan Yin, Daughter of the Phoenix, guides you to have faith and fearless trust that it is safe to let heavenly fire have its own way, that you may rise up anew to your new spiritual your spiritual destiny. This initiation is in its final phases when you are able to put your new beliefs and talents to the test, living based on your spiritual principles of trust, faith, and love. No matter what is presented to you, it is an opportunity for you to finally, I'm just adding in words, for you to apply your spiritual values and live your life accordingly. I'm looking forward to getting into these cards with you. Hey Scorpio, let's get clearing up these cards for you. So let's clear up you're working on a big project as you start the year. A lot of focus, a lot of attention. I don't think we need to clear up the 8 of Pentacles really. What I want to look at though is the High Priestess. So there's big messages coming through from your intuition, Scorpio. So this is a new deck I'm using. Let's pull for the High Priestess. What kind of intuitive downloads are coming around for you now, Scorpio, in February? The 5 of Swords. Okay, so now we've seen this card coming through twice. The Five of Swords in the month of February, and the Five of Swords then again in the month of July. All right. So there's something to look out for. And you know what? Didn't we say this already in the first half of the reading, Scorpio? Didn't we say that it was kind of like, my guides were telling me that like this, every time we see a 5, it's like linked to what we didn't really do in March, or where we should have put our focus in March. Now in February, the same kind of messages are coming through, that they could come through again for you in July. So instead of seeing the Five of Swords again in July, there is opportunity, is what I'm seeing here, to mitigate the Five of Swords by listening carefully in February to messages coming through. Another 5 at the bottom of the deck. Picking your battles very wisely, Scorpio. What's the battle? What's the war? Okay, like this is there's trivial things, and then this is this kind of like false sacrifice you're making, or this martyr like kind of vibe in the Hanged Man in reverse. You're like, but look, I gave up this, or look, I stopped doing this. That was so good of me, right? No, not really. When, I mean, that was great, and do that all you like if that's what your heart desires, but there's something that you're kind of purposely ignoring maybe at this point. So instead of basically seeing the Five of Swords in July, there's an opportunity to listen to your gut, to follow your good instinct. Yeah, like this, there, you know, nobody's, that's the thing, like spiritually we know nobody's ever out to get us, we get ourselves, and this is the card of self-sabotage, right? So there's going to be help. We're only aided, we're never punished, and we're never like, things are never made more difficult for us as just for the fun of or hell of it. We make things more difficult for ourselves always. So let's see, I need to look at this, I need to look at all of the, I want to clear up a lot right now. Okay, so there's an opportunity to basically listen to your instincts about somebody or something. Could be about the Aquarius. The Hanged Man. Okay, so let's see. It seems so far that Scorpio is focusing on the wrong things in March. Where could Scorpio benefit from putting their focus spiritually? This is a spiritual reading, Scorpio, okay? So it looks like something more ego driven is holding your attention in March. Is there a way that Scorpio could see what they could be doing from a spiritual perspective? The Chariot. It would be the leveling up for you. I think I know that some of you, 8 of Swords in reverse and 3 of Cups in reverse. So we've got an 8 of Swords now again, but not really. Let's just focus on the 3 of Cups. Could it be drinking too much at this point for some of you? You know, you're like, oh, but I'm stopping drinking midweek. And it's like, but you know what the real issue is anyway, don't you? It's not like making these sacrifices that don't mean anything in the long run. If, for example, this is just a general example, you are somebody that is addicted to alcohol, so then giving up 3 nights a week isn't really what you're being asked to sacrifice, is it? Okay, just an example. Okay, when I see the 3 cups in reverse, I think a little bit of excess here, maybe too much of that type of thing. So basically what you could turn yourself, let's see, what could you put your focus on spiritually? It is going to be the thing that brings you to the next level anyways. Like, you're already going towards on the Chariot's journey, Scorpio. No doubt about it, okay? The thing is, you're putting potentially road bumps in front of you on this little journey here that don't need to be there. And you are being given an opportunity, I guess. This would be something like, let me think, definitely don't want to be taken in any karma with a bad salesman of a car or something like that, or somebody who sells you some sort of this is the false prophet I'm hearing, right? I heard that earlier. It's like, oh, somebody who tells you something and you're like, oh, that sounds maybe too good to be true. You don't trust your instinct, or this is a bit of like, this is Matilda's dad in the movie Matilda, okay? If you guys know what I'm talking about, that's the energy of Danny DeVito in that movie. So yeah, you don't want to be listening to people that are like selling you up, or is that selling you up the garden path or something. Anyway, because one way or another, your Chariot destination is there. It's not going anywhere, but how are you getting to the destination? Are you making it more difficult than it needs to be? It's asking of you, unfortunately, look, it's not easy. Soul growth isn't a walk in the park. High Priestess, Hanged Man in reverse. You are being asked at this time, in a sense, to make a sacrifice, okay? One that actually is a sacrifice, not the easy sacrifice kind of a thing. Which, yeah, make that if you like as well. Okay, so let's see. Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. Let's pull a card for that. So we miss perhaps a couple opportunities. We get going, it doesn't go the full way. Okay, sure. Then this is like because you were meant to meet this person on your way. When you missed that interview, you ran into that person at the train station that you hadn't seen for a while, and now they get you a job next month. Okay, this is the energy I'm seeing between April and May. Okay, you guys, let's pull a card for the aces. The Ten of Swords, okay, and the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. Fear not when we see the Ten of Swords. That's just the feeling of, I'm going crazy. I thought I was going to get that job. Like, how did they pick somebody else over me? Let me go stalk their page and see what they've got that I don't have, okay? That's okay. Something does seem to be missed or we don't get, okay? This is the energy of we miss, we don't get. Look, that's what that looks like, right? But the ending or the let's call it a failure with this Ten of Swords. Let's just call it like that. That seems to be how you perceive it, like the archetype of not success. I don't want to be like harsh and be like, so that was an epic fail, but like, you know what I mean? You look at it like that is what I'm thinking at that time. But something comes by like the very next month, or we're in May and it all makes sense insofar as like we feel a lot happier, more content. Okay, so yeah, what is perceived as an epic why couldn't I just say this? What is perceived as an epic fail in April does not look that same way to you come May. It looks beautiful. So beautiful fail. Justice card for the month of June. What's getting underway right now? This is a big project plan and period of soul growth here. So it happens in June. A decision is potentially put in front of you. The Hermit in reverse. Wow, and we've got the Hermit in reverse up here too. So I only reverse a select couple of cards in each deck, and when they come out reversed, especially two of the ones I've selected, I take this as an important message. So let me just say that there is a period in June and then again at the end of the year, and it could play its way out all the way through the second part of 2022 for you. Your prudence, Scorpio, is very strong right now, and what I mean by that is like you're striving for this sort of shadow Virgo and perfection. If any of you have like a Virgo moon or a Virgo Mars or any of these Virgo placements and stuff, you might feel like, dissatisfied with some of your work this year, especially since I've got like a Virgo card with the Eight of Pentacles up here too. It doesn't have to be that you have this Virgo energy in your chart or anything. It just could be you dealing with Virgo themes. We have every sign in our chart anyway, so maybe your Virgo house is being lit up by transit. You never know, but this is all happening now in the later part of 2022. So my message here with this is for Scorpio, doesn't have to be perfect, just go for it, because if you don't go for it, there's an opportunity to go for it in Justice card period in June, that if you kind of didn't go for it at this time, it's all of this sort of, you're getting a lot of spiritual guidance this year, I think, Scorpio. Like it's your kind of free will, I feel like, is holding you back the most. There's nothing spiritually, nothing against you. Not that there ever is anything against us spiritually. That sounds kind of crazy. But what I mean is things are syncing well, so there's no shortage of alignment, basically, is what I'm trying to say. The Hermit reversed. Really watch out for this kind of need for perfection in June and December of 2022. It results, I think, only in missed opportunities for you. Okay, let's have a look then. We get to the goal. Okay, so this is not the card for the World card. There's a card that fell out here It is the Fool card. Awesome. This is what's coming through for this little interim phase of kind of mental constriction. Another Aquarian, Uranian theme coming through with the Fool card. Do you meet an Aquarius? Is an Aquarius vital in the second part of 2022? They seem to be teaching you a great deal of lessons mentally, like you want these lessons. You're like, it's a good teacher vibe. So, okay, the period of mental contraction while you're waiting for an outcome of the Justice card to the World card between June and September is teaching you to have more optimism. It's teaching you to have more sense of like trusting in spirit rather than fighting it, trusting in the spiritual path rather than like kind of like taking yourself away from it by doing things that I guess I don't know, I can't speak for everybody certainly, but there's massive like growth to be had here. And look, I love when I see number 0 that right coming up beside number 21. I just love when the cards do this. It's like this is when the cycle kind of, it's like a begin. So like you are drawing an end to something, but you're starting to see the new beginning emerging between like July and August. Even though this may be more stressful for you, Scorpio, you feel like in between, I see where I'm going after. You're like, I know the end is in sight. Okay, it's going to get done. I'm going to complete this. It's going to work out. It's stressful until then, and now you have the vision for what comes after the World card again. So it's the beginning, it hasn't fully worked itself out, the ending is in sight, and you see the new beginning is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's see the World card. What is coming through around the World card for Scorpio? What does this period of completion, accomplishment, and just getting shit done and things turning around for you in the month of September. Okay, so Scorpio, the 10 of Cups, this is welcome energy, right? This is like look at these people holding their hands in the air. They're like, yay, like that is like like it seems to me like everyone's like throwing their hands up to the sky like hallelujah. So okay, that's good. And then a rainbow appears, divine synchronization and beauty. Okay, so this looks great. So the World card is the finishing of completion of the cycle. Okay, so 10 in the tarot is the furthest we go until we're back to the Ace again. So the 10 of Cups, so yeah, you're really happily bringing a cycle of completion into your life. Something you were like, is this ever gonna work? Well, turns out, yes, it did. You have to have a little faith in June, okay? And none of this striving for perfection or another shadow of Virgo control, right? And like judgment, I suppose, in inner judgment most specifically. But yeah, so this inner judgment, like, oh, you're not good enough, that's terrible. So don't be too striving for this like perfection. That A1 doesn't exist for us like that. Okay, let's see. I like the Star here. I feel like the Star card energy is just like bottled up in the Hermit here. I feel like there's the Star in this Hermit. So what are you looking at in these phases of hermitage? Okay, so you might feel yourself more isolated in June, taking a period of reflection about what's next to come on this next part of your year. You might know at the second part of 2022 is like more energy of new beginning and things like that. So you're taking like these periods of halfway through the year, like you're kind of actually working with the eclipse cycles actually. So June will be eclipse cycle, December will be eclipse cycle, so that could be, or like eclipse season rather, but they're like cyclical points, right? Okay, so you might be feeling more change, more destined ending and beginning around June and December. And the Hermit in reverse is here, like Scorpio, this is time for change. Take time for yourself when necessary through the change. So we'll look at the Star card. Overall, you're feeling very optimistic come October. So what is the reason for this, or what's kind of coming through for all of this optimism to exist for you now? The Death card. It's so funny. Just as this was going through my head, I was thinking of your birthday season in October. So I was seeing like this October energy anyways, October, and then the Death card is for you, Scorpio, November. So your birthday period is like kind of when you start, I think, feeling emotional about losses. I think it could be a period where you are reflecting over your last year as a whatever, fill in the blank, whatever age you're like shedding right now. And this year in October, November of 2022, if you're a Scorpio sun watching. Yeah, so like you're thinking about what ended, right? Well, you're thinking about what you lost. You're thinking about what you missed out on, what your regrets are. For some, not gonna lie, Scorpio, if you are somebody who's trying to get sober this year, those 3 cups are the same 3 of cups of reverse maybe that came out earlier, and you did it. You succeeded by September, and who knows where you'll go on that journey. That's not to say that this will always exist for you. You know, people relapse and there's no shame in that, but for some I do see like this sense of like going sober or being sober on something, and or just like the sobering reality of, well, what was lost. And you know what, Scorpio, you can look, you have the rawness and the intensity, not to stereotype, but to kind of look death and regret and loss and just the kind of cold hard facts of this in the square in the eye. So Death card and the 5 of Cups. Around your birthday period, some of you are like, so optimistic about the changes you've made. Others, of course, we're all on a different timeline. So some of you then are perhaps going to be thinking this birthday season like, okay, I regret not doing something. I'm going to do it next year. There's always time for change. This will be my next goal. Okay, no problem. Okay, so that's what's coming up for you, but your birthday seems transformational and you do spend a lot of time looking at what ended or what has changed for you. It seems like it's a very like deep in your feelings time of the year for you, your next birthday. Okay, finally, we're going to close out the year with the Hermit card in reverse, and the 7 of Wands came through and it was in reverse when that came out. So, okay, let's see what I've got at the bottom of the deck. The 7 of Wands in reverse coming through with Justice card. Interesting. Hello, we see you again. Hello, old friend, Injustice. So it's resolved, right? And it's resolved in the upright manner. Thank you very much. So the June, I believe, period of what kind of becomes underway, or the decisions you're making, are consequential, something legal even, of course, it can be as literal as that. It's interesting that these came up, Justice, the Hermit reversed, right? It's interesting that that's laying side by side. It's linked to the eclipses. So like let's see, Libra rising, if you are watching and you have a Libra rising, this is going to be coming up around these eclipses are going to be triggering things to do with your money, wealth, your income, your inheritance, your debts, financially. If you're a Virgo rising, and if the same is true, if I'm talking for Libra rising, the same is going to be true for Aries rising. Another example of Scorpio with the Virgo rising, or if indeed then a Pisces rising. These eclipses in June and December are about your beliefs, your perception of reality, your perception of the world. That's what's coming through. Okay, so these are going to be big trigger parts of 2022 for you, June and December, Scorpio. I'd love to hear how you get on in those months. The eclipses seem to be very energized for you. Also, yeah, the 7 of Wands in reverse came through. You're uneasy at the end of the year, no doubt about it. Most of us will be collectively in December of 2022. Eclipse seasons are volatile. Let's say that. The 7 of Wands, okay, the 7 of Wands in reverse. Uneasiness, okay, fragility. Oh, this is shaking, the ground is shaking from under me is what I'm seeing here. You're like struggling to stay on top there. Okay, so just try and stay centered. You've had these lessons in June, so no bother to you. You've got it again come December, but at times you may feel a little shaky. The Hermit and Justice are actually pretty grounded together. What does Virgo and Libra like to do, in my opinion? They like to crave somewhere very sacred, and they both crave grounding for different reasons, both very energized mentally as signs. So needing this grounded energy to come through for Libra and Virgo together. And this is just what I'm picking up from the major arcanas. I'm just trying to see what else I can link, because there's such a clear link to me here. Yeah, just that revisiting of June issues in December, all of the things like that. Scorpio, thanks so much for sticking with me so far. Why don't we ground this? Exactly, let's ground our asses with an oracle. So instead of looking at the past, we'll look at what lies ahead for 2022. We're going to look at this from a grounded point of view, knowing that this message is coming through as guidance in whatever is in highest and best. So let's take a deep breath together, Scorpio. And we're going to pull a card from Scorpio's highest self right now. What's coming through for 2022? Oh, gotta try again. To me, that's the last card. Okay. Mother of Mercy, number 19. Let's see what's going on here. Mother of Mercy. Just like the sun that and pardon me, Scorpio, let's think about 2022 energy with this read, okay? So just like the sun that shines brightly, casting a strong shadow, your growing spiritual power needs to be expressed with awareness that will have an effect on others, even if you are not completely conscious of that effect. To create peace in the expression of your power, we call upon the Mother of Mercy. Mercy tempers great strength and power with kindness, gentleness, compassion, and caring. The divine Kuan Yin brings the quality of mercy to you now as a divine gift, encouraging you to cultivate mercy in your dealings with others and to receive it for yourself now too. Dispensations of mercy come when we are without recourse. We have perhaps lost our way, become unable to find our way, or have caused some great effect, for better or worse, that we did not intend to do. It might be even through our own hand that we have caused such a situation, not necessarily with intention or malice. We just proceeded in a certain way because we hadn't learned the wisdom we needed to avoid it. This is the Hanged Man in reverse. It's very clear for me, Scorpio, that this is what the energy of the Hanged Man reverse is. And it's like you never meant to cause harm. Or I'm continuing from this oracle now, or perhaps our own guidance led us to darkness consciously so that we could learn something valuable and we're a bit stuck. Okay, so we do mess up in life. That's the Five of Swords. It's self-sabotage. It's also blame when we don't mess up, but sometimes, let's face it, we do fuck up. And that's the energy of the Five of Swords when we say that I messed up, right? You're not asking for forgiveness. It's the acknowledgement to yourself more so. Okay, and sometimes we do things that are hard to do for other people to deal with. Okay, we've called this on ourselves, haven't we? We've asked for this so that we can learn and grow through it. Continuing from the oracle, it says, we may have perhaps been suffering from a heavy karmic lesson from this or another lifetime, and our own soul may be struggling to really integrate the lesson and feel free to rise up and move on. Perhaps we're in a situation with another where we hold great power. It might be as a parent, a teacher, a healer, or a boss. It might be even in a less obvious position of power where we could take advantage of another's care for us to secure what we want. These situations call for the quality of divine mercy. Oh, mercy. Mercy scares me a little bit, guys, because it's like, oh my God, I need mercy. Oh shit. Okay, but what I kind of said that about the karmic healing that can happen in March. It seems like, and even in 2021, I thought that with the purification of the Daughter of the Phoenix card that came through earlier, this quality of, okay, give me a fucking shitload of karmic debt to repay in a short amount of time because I want to ascend, or spirit is saying like, oh hey, we wanted you to be kind of at this point on your spiritual progression, so we're gonna have to slam you with some stuff to deal with in 2021, Daughter of the Phoenix, and in potentially March 2022. It's to get you up to kind of your sort of pathway point, okay? And that's what I'm picking up from that. Okay, so it might be even in a less obvious, okay, we said this. Oh yeah, mercy, we said this. Okay, so finally it says, to pray for mercy is a powerful prayer. Kuan Yin drops nectar of mercy from her ivory vase to the hearts of those that call to her. You are in a situation on either side of the story. Whether you feel powerful or disempowered. Where there is manipulation, fear, struggle, hurting, or suffering, call upon the Mother of Mercy now. You are guided by this oracle to accept her spiritual gift to you. Even if the situation doesn't seem too dramatic, fortunately enough, her gift will abate any karmic escalation and prevent the situation from becoming any worse. Great, and just get you off that particular notch on the wheel that you might be just getting stuck on, or you've gotten quite heavy or dense around that. And failing to see the light is kind of what I'm picking up there. So great. So this is just calling this power now of mercy for the year 2022. That's great. That's a gift being awarded to you now, Scorpio. The choice is yours to accept. Thank you so much for watching this. I had a lot of fun making it. I'm going to link your 2021 cosmic forecast like this down below in the description box, and that way you can see if that resonated for you, and it may kind of shed some light on some of the themes. You might even see some similar cards. Anyways, I'll leave it there for you to enjoy. Thank you for watching. Bye.